You're petting Frankie.
Yeah, he's sleeping under my feet.
Senil solves the mystery.
That's right. I was solving mysteries last night with everybody in the chat, and we had to figure out who the actual doxer was. And we came to a realization, Crow. We found the actual doxer.
Okay, I know what you're gonna say. I already do. But
Jakey's.
can I tell you about the revelation that I had with Gigi Evan that he fucking ruined for me before we got started?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was sitting there and I was like, I thought about this whole conversation that we had today earlier, and I was talking to Gigi about it, and I was like, I was thinking about it, and I can understand why Steve is mad, right? Like, not that I agree with his actions or what he was doing, but I could understand why he was mad that you had Slug on your stream and that you were being all chummy with him and everything. I could understand why that would piss him off because of the horrible fucking degenerate things Slug did to him. And I'm talking to GG about it, right, for probably like a good 5 fucking minutes. Okay? And then GG comes in and goes, well, Steve told him to have Slug on. And I was like, wait, what?
You didn't know that part?
If you told me, I completely fucking space cased it.
Did you know about the part where he had no problem with this? Didn't bring it up as a point until Maya started bringing it up as a point.
Look, I didn't know
I told
that
Crow
either.
that Steve wanted you to spy on Slug.
So his words
while he was on
verbatim.
stream.
His words verbatim were, "Yo, go get close to Slug. Give him get me information on him so I can kill him later." And I would think, hey, he obviously means like figuratively, but the thing with that is like he would then go into excruciating detail about how he wanted to torture this man. So I don't know.
Look, here's the thing. Steve said some kind of like unhinged stuff in private before, and like I kind of just look at it as the dude's just blowing off steam, right? So it's never really bugged me.
The guy walked out of his apartment with a Bacardi bottle and broke into a fucking school and threatened to hit someone over the head.
Wait, at the school?
No, he tried to break into the school. Went on his trip to the school, he threatened to hit someone over the head.
Why? He's a Canadian and they're so nice.
I don't know. He's just letting out steam, right, man?
Okay, wait, hold on. When I said he was letting out steam, I meant like when he's having those private chats with us and such. Like, to me, that's just letting off steam. Like, I don't think he's being serious. But at the same time, I don't think that really matters, right? I think the most important thing is he can't be fucking upset with you if he's the one who told you to do it. Like, I just don't. Like,
Bro, what we got here is we got a pattern of behavior at this point.
Oh God, no! I'm gonna smoke before you explain the pattern of behavior. I'm gonna fucking get high.
Oh, I mean, it'll take like 2 seconds. It's literally just.
It better take you like 2.5
Steve is a fake
minutes.
bitch. That's all. That's all. Steve's a fake bitch. He's been a fake bitch for over a year, and I'm done like putting up with it. That's all.
Okay, Sen, for the people who don't know who Steve is and are in the chat, can you like give them a quick rundown while I light this up?
Sure.
And I will fact check you.
Steve DeLive is a man who I consider to be a very, very, at one point, very close friend of mine and everybody else. Supposedly he was to be trusted and all this shit. And he was an okay guy, you know, from what I saw at the very beginning. But little by little, I don't know what happened. He started going back on a lot of the shit he would say. And it all came to a head when there was a domestic abuser named Maya Moore that ended up showing up and started to take a stance against Repsion, another YouTuber who's her ex. And from there on out, it just kind of went to shit. Steve backtracked on everything he's ever said. He even backtracked on the expose he did on Maya. And it was like the equivalent of a person simping for Amber Heard for whatever reason. So now we're here. Nothing really changed. He still defends this Maya Moore person who, again, is like pretty much the equivalent of a discount Amber Heard.
Well, so to be clear,
that's why he also tried to defend Amber Heard.
When he started defending Maya, right? I was like, I didn't like it, but I didn't think he was like being unhinged about it. But like over time, I'll admit, like his behavior's kind of changed.
Yeah, it really has. I noticed it too.
I don't know if it's just like he gets angry or if he's upset about the shit people are saying about him, but like for me, I'm like everything with him went downhill when he started trying to defend Maya. Like before that happened, yeah, he, don't get me wrong, everyone's a little bit weird, like, but nothing even fucking close to this shit.
Here's the thing. I retraced some of the things that had happened up to that point because the first thing Aura had told me when we first met Steve, and this was like, it was like a funny thing, right? But there's like truth and jokes, right? So
Yeah.
he was like, all our enemies becomes like all Steve's enemies become our enemies. We would have it easier if like he was, wasn't the way he was, right? So basically Steve would like gather together like a horde of people that didn't like him. But it's like, why would these people not like him, right? But then I start picking up on shit he would do. Like towards the middle of the year when Angry Slug wasn't even bothering him anymore, he was covering the Isabella Loretta Jenke stuff. Steve made it like a mission in his internet life for whatever reason to make sure Slug, in his words, never built a following. Because I don't know if he was overly paranoid about it. I don't know if he got off on it. Like he got off on like, bullying Redski because he's an easy target. I don't know what it was. It was pretty fucked up, like considering that, Slug wasn't even talking about him anymore.
Hold on. I can say why, right? And this is something that I think Steve, well, I don't think he handles the Slug stuff correctly. I understand exactly where he's coming from with it. Like when he wants you to like get info on Slug and everything. I get where it's coming from. Because, look, Slug has done some really fucked up things with Steve. And, well, I think Steve puts a target on his back, too, sometimes. You had guys like Tommy and others who were, like, sitting there platforming fucking Slug way back while he was, like, engaged in all this, like, fucking underhanded, heinous behavior because they thought it was funny. And they hated Steve, too. So they did it because they knew it would tick Steve off, right? Like, I think one of the reasons why Tommy, like, had that fucker around was because he liked taking shots at Steve. So I
disagree. Just because like if that was the case, then the whole Smaggle versus like Slug thing didn't really need to happen with Smaggle and Slug. It was just like, like it was two retards fighting, and that was like the point of it. I think Slug just comes off as like a retard to people, and so they just do it for the lulz. Like,
no. Because I remember when Tommy was having Slug come on, it was specifically to shit on Steve.
You have to cite that because I don't remember it happening.
It was like the first streams that Slug would come on to their show.
Even if it did, right? It's like
no. Look. Hold on. I'm just saying. I get why it twigs him out to see Slug like build his platform back up after all the fucking shit he's done.
Yeah, because Tom has done some shitty shit.
So Steve has done the same though.
Dude, I get it. I do.
You don't get to complain. No. I'm just saying you don't get to complain or be a victim if you do the same fucked up shit.
Well, hold on. Before
you try to hide it.
Yeah, see, I get the trying to hide it. But in terms of you don't get to complain about when you do the same fucked up shit, he complained about it. Now he's doing the same fucked up shit.
Also, didn't he start it himself?
With Slug?
Yeah.
No.
Pretty sure he did.
No, he didn't.
What happened then?
Slug found Steve's like Instagram account.
Okay, no.
Or
Wait.
Facebook account.
Here's the thing. You don't start it off with Slug started this. Slug did not start off knowing who this guy was. So I want to know.
It was over Maya. It was fucking over Maya because back then Slug was Maya's pet. Slug was Sluggy Wuggy, right? And Steve went harder at Maya and Repsion than any of us did. Okay? So he became a target for Slug because Maya sent Slug after Steve. Okay? Slug then gets onto Steve's face, like finds his Facebook or his Instagram account.
The Facebook, the public Facebook, the public Instagram. Okay. I know. Contact Slug, parents, yada yada yada.
Well, it's not just contacted his parents. They contacted his fiance's mom, right? And started saying all this shit and broke off his engagement.
Okay, hold on. If that, I'm gonna because I know how you think, and come on now, if they're gonna believe this random fucking Venezuelan dude that comes in and says, your fucking what is it? What did he be at the time?
He was accusing him of being a
no,
pedophile.
I know, but I'm saying, what would it be? What would he be? What would Steve be to that woman at the time?
Buddy, look.
No. I'm telling you.
Is your story? Well, you see, Crow, it didn't actually matter because she didn't love him enough to stay with him. Bro, shut the fuck up.
I'm saying
Like,
that's retarded.
Hold on.
That's a retarded argument.
I'm not saying that she was.
You're saying that if somebody goes ahead and like this random stranger says all this shit about like somebody you're supposed to trust or call family or something,
let me
that's
be
retarded.
Yeah, that's cool. But let me be very clear. Okay. If Slug reached out to my wife's parents and was saying those sorts of things to them, I personally don't care if she's like, oh, Crow, because I'm not going to use my real name. Oh, Crow, like, I know that you're not. I still love you anyways. You think I'm not going to be fucking livid that somebody would fucking do that?
Maybe.
Hold on, not even maybe, okay?
Maybe. No. It's because you would, sure. I wouldn't, because I'd be like, it's just some fucking crazy saying shit about me. Like,
I get it. Okay, that's cool for you. But what I'm saying is, I can
understand people will act differently depending on how they.
Yeah,
are.
But here's and that's great engaged. And all. I get your point. Let me use your point.
They were engaged.
Let me use your point right now.
They were kind of dating.
What you're trying to do the whole put yourself in this person's shoes thing, right?
I can understand where he's coming
No, but that's what you're doing. You're doing the whole put yourself in this person's shoes thing, and I get that. There's only one problem with that.
Yeah. What's the problem?
Steve doesn't do that for anybody else.
Okay, that's cool. But if I'm saying the behavior of Steve, look, I'm
not going to justify the behavior of Steve.
No, hold on. I'm not doing that either. But you said you don't understand why he was trying to make sure that Slug couldn't build up a platform. I was explaining
after he won the feud. Yeah, I didn't understand why he continued on.
I no shit. I just explained it to you.
So he held on to like a grudge over the period of time, even though he had already won, and he's pretending like he's better than this.
Yeah. No, he absolutely is. He's a fucking hypocrite.
Not to mention, he was being too forgiving of Slug at times for overall this shit.
Yeah, that too.
Well, that's okay. So you say that, but then he told me, no, I was never forgiving of him. I was never his friend. I still treated him.
Why the fuck did you would let him back in your server like 7 times?
Here's the problem. Like, you say one thing to defend him, and that's cool. He says another thing. Who am I supposed to take at their word?
Sen, here's your problem. I'm not defending. I'm not. I'm explaining why I think he's acting the way he's acting. I'm not defending his behavior, though, right? Just because I understand why a child is throwing a fucking temper tantrum, I'm not defending them throwing a fucking temper tantrum. I just understand where it's coming from. But at the same time, I don't forgive any of this shit. Like, I don't look at this and I say, oh, Steve is justified because he feels this and that. No, you're never fucking justified because how you fucking feel. You never justified in doing underhanded things because you feel like it's the right thing. It's not. There's no fucking justification for that. I might understand why you're
right there.
I might understand why he's behaving this way. I might understand why he will like always want to see Slug in a grave, right? I can understand it. I don't believe he's fucking right. I don't think his actions are fucking correct. I think he's like burned the bridge with many of his friends because he's sitting there stubborn as a fucking mule, refusing to just admit, hey, I was wrong about Maya. Hey, I shouldn't have been telling people who they can and can't hang out with. Like, look, I don't think it's good when anyone does that shit. The fact that it's somebody that I considered a friend, right? Like, to me, the thing that pisses me off with him, and it really does, and I don't have this like deep-seated hatred for the person, but I remember seeing him talk about how he, to get back at you, right? To get back at you, having Slug on your streams, which again, apparently he was totally okay with, right? Like, to get back at you. Hold on. Because I'm going to agree with you. To get back at you, he sat there and he said that he would just have my little brother come onto his stream. So I'm like, well, hold on. Because what my little brother did to you is nothing close to what he did to me. And this is supposed to be my friend. He's sitting there, saying he's mad at you because you're gonna have fucking Slug on, which apparently he was okay with and signed off on, which I didn't know, right? But he's gonna sit there and get mad at you for doing that, so he's gonna sit there and do that to me, right? Like, dude, come on, like, what the fuck? I haven't like talked about it, I don't fucking comment on it, but I see this shit happening, and I'm like, I'm not okay with that. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, leave me fucking out of your stupid fucking drama. Don't bring my fucking family up into your stupid fucking conversations, right? Like, you two are having a fucking fight. Settle it like fucking men. Don't fucking pull this like petty pissant. No, I get it. I do. I've seen it. I don't fucking like it. But again, like, my biggest issue with him is he's sitting there defending a fucking psychopath who has zero redeeming qualities. And he's doing it because he can't just admit he was fucking wrong.
Yeah.
What do I do? Like, honestly, what do I do with that shit?
I want to add a little bit to like the Slug point, because it wasn't only just that he signed off on that happening. It was also like, because we would have talks, me, Redsky, Steve, sometimes Ora would be there, but he would dip, like, you know how he always just dips, and like he would be high too. So it was us, right? And he would make jokes, because there's this guy named Marcy, and the guy, like, he's extremely ugly. And like we played a game at one. Well, yeah. Here's why it's funny. We were playing a game at one point, and we asked Steve, "Hey, who would you rather hang out with? You know, just out of like funny, Marcy, you know, the ugly guy, or Slug, the guy that's made your life a living hell for the past, you know, whatever." And he said, "You know what? Probably Slug, because I'd be more entertained by him and shit like that." So he was like literally saying positive things about this fucking guy that, you know, did all this heinous shit to him and blah blah blah, and now he's, you know, using this guy as a point against me as to why I'm a bad friend or whatever, and that's his whole cause for what he did. So it's like, that's a little weird, because it seems like you were even kind of warming up to the guy in a sense. You're saying positive things. You're not getting angry. You're saying, you know, I've kind of just accepted that we're going to be a part of each other like forever and shit like that. You're saying shit like this. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I was like, what? Am I hearing right? Like, this is the guy that's like, I guess, fucked with you for over a year. I can't necessarily agree and say that, you know, the Slug thing was like the reason he and Steph broke up, because I know that's not why. But I won't get into that. So like, whether it's a contributing factor or not, at the end of the day, it all comes back to Steve. The only reason you don't hear that it comes back to Steve is because he'll always blame someone else. And like what happened recently, Crow, if you were, you know, keeping up with what happened recently, he immediately blames it on us, and he thinks we're trying to op him, to smear him. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've compiled evidence, screenshots, receipts that all lead back to it being from his camp. He doesn't want to see it. You know what his counter evidence is? Oh, look at my friend saying that it totally didn't happen, Redsky. You're wrong because of this. Right? So it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I'm not playing this game with you anymore. Like, I'm not defending you. I'm going to do the exact opposite, because you're a fucking dick. You called me a pedophile in the space for no reason. And I've already said, it's not even that. It's not even that hurt me. It was the fact that he said, you never cared about me. You never did anything for me, right? When in reality, I gave up like all the commentary shit. Like, I gave up all the fucking bridges. I tore it down because I was starting to feel guilty. I tried to put myself in technical shoes and be like, well, what they're doing to him is what they're doing to me and Steve, because Steve's like a brother to me, and I can't let that happen. I have to do something about this. I have to go against these guys, you know, to save my brother. But what the fuck does my brother do? He does something that, like, he just stabs me in the back for no fucking reason either. There's no reason for it. Like, why? What are you getting out of it, man?
Well, again, he feels like you don't have his back, so he's sitting there and he's acting out against you. And like, I don't get it, right? Like, I really don't, because you're friends, but like, you're not fucking a married couple. You have no obligation to who you hang out with, to the other person. Especially if the other dude is like encouraging you to do it. Like, this is just like such a weird fucking thing. Like, I get that he doesn't like that you're like on good terms with Slug. I can understand that much, right? but you don't encourage the dude to hang out with the other dude that you don't fucking like because you thought that you could get something out of it. Like, to me, you should be better than that. You absolutely should be fucking better than Slug is, right? I see more in Steve, so I expect more fucking of him. But I'm not going to sit there and go and take shots at his living situations or anything like that. Just speaking specifically about like the behavior and the attitudes and everything, dude. I understood at the start with Maya, right, where he was like, "Hey, I can help her. Hey, she like I see some redeeming things in her." Like it's been over a year. It's been well over a year. She's only gotten worse, and like honestly, I do think that the way she behaves has clearly affected him, right? To me, that's what I see. Maybe I got blinders on because I used to have good conversations with the guy.
We both did.
Yeah, no, I just don't. I can't understand it,
bro. I
just
bonded with the
can't
guy over
understand
my
it.
addiction. All right, I think I know what the fuck. Yeah, I get it. I get it. We were tight and shit. That's what I thought. That's why I didn't think, hey, a guy I opened up to on that level and he opened up back to me. Yeah, there's no way this could possibly fucking happen. And then yet it happens for no fucking reason. Yes, I get it. And that's why I take it so fucking personal. I know it's gay, right? And shit. But at the same time, it's like when I tried and I went out of my way to make sure this was settled in private, not in public. He just keeps doing passive aggressive tweets in public for no fucking reason, some of which are just made up bullshit narratives like Maya does. He says, you took down the technicals interview because you're a butthurt woman. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Here's the context if you care for it. You could have just asked me. He just doesn't care. He doesn't care about it.
Sen, let me just be real with you, right? And you tell me if you just can't do this. But between the two of you, okay, Steve has no real reach. Okay, the only time people talk about Steve is to literally just rip on him. Okay, because he like, I get it. There's a few people that like his tweets and everything, but like realistically, the dude has no actual space to actually do anything, right? Like he's dead in the fucking water completely. So I have to ask, right? Why don't you just fucking mute him and or block him?
Why it's even fun to shit on him?
Like, okay, so here's what I'll say to you then, right? Because again, like this isn't somebody that I hate. Okay, I don't like what he's. I get it. I don't like what he's doing right now, and I still consider you like a good friend, and I look at Steve and I wish he would. I wish he would stop doing what he's doing. I wish he would literally have a fucking come to Jesus moment for the fucking Canadians or something, right? But like it's such a like fucked up way of being.
He's doxed me 3 times, 3 by face, 1 by name. Okay, over his feelings, like over him getting upset, right?
I know. I'm not asking you to forgive him. I'm not.
No, I'm gonna bury him. I'm gonna shit on him relentlessly anytime I can.
Well, okay. Well, so then again, just to explain his actions, you sit there and go like, well, why is he? Look at him. Like, why is he?
It was more rhetorical question because I rationalized everything for over a year. It's fine. Like I get it.
I get it. I'm just saying you two are in a back and forth.
You're giving him a lot of charitability, though. I will say that.
I'm not. It's not charitability. Okay. I want to know why someone's doing what they're doing so I can be correct when I'm criticizing them, even if I don't fucking like them, right? What I'm saying though is when you say I don't know why he's doing this, I'm explaining it to you. Okay, you can agree with it or disagree with it. It's not defending him because I don't agree with his fucking actions. I don't.
It's not based in logic.
No, it's based in this emotional fucking butthurt and this like unwillingness to just say, hey, I was wrong about Maya. Don't now listen to me here. He is correct about this fucking Jane witch, right? He is correct about Repsion, all right? And beyond that, though, it's like, how does anybody listen to you, right? How does anybody take you seriously when you seem like you're fucking unhinged, when you're fighting and throwing punches at everybody that comes across your path? Even if you're like 100, even if you're 1,000% correct on whatever you're talking about, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter because you have zero credibility right now. Like, you need to work on that. You can sit there and go like, I don't care what other people think about me. Well, then why? Like, then what are you even fucking doing? Like, I just don't understand it. I don't like. I'll say the things I do understand and things I don't fucking understand. This shit, his behavior, his fucking mentality, I don't fucking understand it. I think he has plenty of fucking talent. I think if he pulled his head out of his ass, he could actually build up his fucking platform on YouTube very easily. Very easily. But he's so focused on this stupid shit. He's so willing to just throw fucking punches. Like, Maya's like irrational, unhinged behavior has mixed with his, and it's just created this like nasty fucking monster sometimes. And then there are other times where I see him and he's like the same funny guy again. But the moment anyone like says anything to him that he doesn't like, bro, it's like mask fucking off. I just don't like seeing it.
I mean, Crow, like, he went crying to Aura because of me and just like pointing out the inconsistencies with Maya's story. Like, for half the shit that she's pushing now, thanks to that MrSen video, you would have to believe that the Terminator exists. You'd have to think that time travel exists. Like, Steve is just grasping at straws at this point, and they're gay-opping to the point where they're using someone's death against us.
Okay, hold on, guys, because I need to take a quick break from this, because Sadaker's been in the chat talking to me and asking questions, and they sent in a super chat, which I really appreciate. Just found this comment, Crow. You seem normal. Oh, I can't wait to disappoint.
He's anything but.
He's sorry, man.
It's okay.
But,
Get back on topic. Get back on topic, damn it.
Okay. Listen. A viewer wanted to hear that, so we listened to what the viewers.
Bro, are you gonna be able to edit this out?
Yeah, it's called an edit.
I didn't know if you could actually like edit, like with cuts.
I was gonna leave this entire segment in and just edit the rest of it out. They're gonna go like, "Oh, I want to watch this video on Steve DeLive," and they're just gonna hear us talk about The Last of Us.
midway. God damn. You're something.
Wait, then I'm gonna end it with a Rickroll.
You are something else. Somebody told me this. They were like, I get he's trying to understand Steve's actions without condoning them, but it really comes off as him trying to justify Steve's shit. But maybe that's just me. I'll admit that I'm not familiar with Crow, so I could be completely wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, no, again, if you don't understand why someone is doing what they're doing...
Rhetorical question.
Well, let me explain. If no joke, though, if you do not understand why somebody does what they do, how do you actually talk about what they're doing? Like how do you actually, speak about it? Like, I can understand why people are doing what they're doing, even if I don't fucking like it, even if I don't agree with it, even if I find their actions to be completely fucking horrific. It still helps to know why they are doing what they're doing, because maybe there's the ability to actually confront them in a more meaningful way than just saying, "Hey, you stupid fucking faggot, why are you behaving like a stupid fucking faggot?" Right? Like, yeah, you can say say like, dude, maybe figure out why.
Okay, no. Let me do it, G. Okay, so sorry. I keep saying rhetorical questions. I'll just let me get to like that first. Okay, so rhetorical question, Crow. It is a question asked in order to create a dramatic effect or to make a point rather than to get an answer. Additionally, you had said that there are ways to go about this that aren't, the equivalent to just saying you're a faggot and all this shit. Now, I've already told you, and I have proof of this, that I've gone through every way to do it and resolve it behind the scenes, primarily. It was him who started taking shots at me and doing all this fucking underhanded shit. So all things lead back to him being the problem, which is why some people can be looking at this as, well, it does seem like you're trying to justify his shit, or at least you're not fully aware of this or invested enough to actually make like a judgment call to like fully condemn him or have the same like anger that say other people would.
Okay. Let me be an older man than you for a second and say that I'm not mad. I'm just heavily disappointed in his behavior and his actions.
Also,
I think that he is a much better person than how he is behaving right now. And I think that the things he's done to you are unforgivable. And I think if he had any decency within him, he would sincerely apologize and try to seek your forgiveness. But I don't think he's man enough to do that either.
well, yeah, I mean, this comes back to patterns as well. If you go back, the one thing, like a common trait, is that he never admits when he's wrong, and he never really gives out apologies. No, proof of when he'll never admit that he's wrong is kind of like it's shown with what you were saying earlier. You're saying that you wish he could just say that the Maya thing wasn't worth it and stuff. No, he's told me in private that the Maya things weren't worth it in private. Again, right? No recording. I unfortunately didn't record him. I guess I should have, because now he's demanding that I show like, clips of recordings that I should have had with him or whatever. So shit like that. He's saying, oh, the Maya thing was not worth it. The Zero thing wasn't worth it. He's shit talking Maya behind her back. So it just, it's just all so messy and so fake. And yeah, I don't really blame people for looking at this as, you're still gonna defend him and stuff in a sense, and that's how it looks like. But I think that a lot of people are just fed up with this shit, especially how he's like going about it continuously.
I literally, okay, I'm sorry. I maybe I didn't directly say it, but I heavily implied that he wasn't a man and that he lacked all decency. I'm not entirely sure how anyone could read that as me defending his behavior.
I guess you have more fucking like impulse control at this point.
Well, okay, let me say this for you, right? Well, I understand why you're fucking doing it. I can just as easily say, if you don't want to deal with Steve, you know how easily it would be not to have to deal with Steve. You're choosing to engage with him.
Wait, what do you mean?
I'm saying like Steve like tweeting something and saying your fucking name, right? And even if he said like the most heinous, nasty thing he could about you, he has zero credibility. He gets like maybe 5 likes on a fucking tweet. He gets ripped on and clowned on constantly. And the only reason why he even does it is probably because you're giving him attention and he craves the fucking attention. If you muted him, I think he would like spin around in a fucking circle and then give up.
Yeah, I know. You're trying to say that like, oh, it's easy to ignore him because he's a nobody. And like, I agree with that assessment.
I mean, you this is what I mean. Like the difference in your platforms, because you actually focused on growing yourself up, where Steve is just still there, chained down to fucking Maya. Like you could just fucking ignore the guy,
Not
and he
necessarily.
has zero impact on you.
Oh no, I already know that this is like just the fight that he's not going to win. I'm perfectly aware of it, but he thinks in his head he will, because he's always very delusional. This is either something he's always had, or he got like strengthened by Maya. They always think they're on the winning side and stuff. But at this point, it's just really fun. It's really funny to tear it apart. And again, there's like,
I guess I understand that, but for me, like I don't look at this situation because and go like, oh man, I just want to rip that guy apart. Like there are people that I genuinely feel contempt for, right? Genuinely fucking despise and think that they're just absolutely fucking atrocious monsters. And I probably feel the exact same way as you do about Steve. The problem with me for Steve is I know that he is capable, right? I know he's done it before. So for him, because we've been close and everything, we've had really good times together. When I look at him, I'm just so disappointed in him, and I don't find the same enjoyment out of fucking with him the way that you do. Like, because for me, I look at it and I go like, this is a guy who used to be really fucking tight, used to be really fucking cool, and man, it's sad.
Well, it's not only that though, and we really like you and me had like what a 41-hour conversation before the stream.
41 fucking hours. Yeah, we just didn't even sleep.
No,
It
no,
was
no, no. I
great.
mean like a 40 to 1 hour combo, a 40 minutes to 1 hour conversation. There you go. So yeah, we had that combo, and it's like, you know, I think we agreed more there than we do now. But like also the main points we went over, and you were like actually elaborating on this, and you were saying how like, yeah, we've condemned or we've gone after commentary for certain things that he's done as well, or that he's gonna eventually like ends up doing and stuff. And like, well, that's kind of how I feel in that sense too. It's like, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say I focus on building my platform. I kind of just do this as a hobby to like fuck around, jack off a little bit while like, you know, it's not really building a platform if you're not, you know, talking about trendy topics, getting something like I just fuck around on my streams. It's whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I have like a good like tight community and stuff. He had that too. Like I'm pretty sure we shared an audience. It's just that the Maya thing kind of ran people off, and he didn't give a shit. Like he didn't give a shit about when Maya was harassing Kat. He didn't give a shit about when Maya was like timing people out that were his mods that were helping repair his image or help with his image.
Yeah.
He didn't care about any of that.
I remember all of it. And anytime you talk to him, he'd be like, "Oh no, you know, I can help Maya out. I can like, oh, I can fix her, right?" Like fucking hell, dude. I had to sit there and like, you know, you bite your tongue on it. You know, you sit there and you say, "Man, I really disagree. I don't agree with what you're doing," and you bite your tongue. You bite your fucking tongue, and everything that I feared happening out of that fucking relationship has occurred.
Mm-hmm.
She's completely fucking dragged him down. And the thing is, though, it's not like I can sit there and say it's all Maya's fault, right? Because Steve has signed off on all of it, right? He's not doing it because he's simping. He's doing it because he just refuses to admit that he was wrong. So he's going to just sit there and, like, let it fucking destroy him. And, like, even, like, the fucked up thing with Maya is, I think we were talking about it, right? Like, I was tweeting about how fucking Jane and Repsion were, like, this, like, disgusting little nasty couple that does, like, horrible fucking things, right? And I was ripping on Repsion because I'm like, dude, you accuse Maya of these things, et cetera, right? And I'm like, and I'm sure she does it. But then here you are, here Jane is, I can't remember the full fucking thing. But what I do remember is Maya jumping in to tell me how I'm wrong and how I'm lying about her and how I'm spreading all this misinformation. And then I get like fucking 10 tweets in my fucking replies, screenshots of random fucking shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm not even going after you right now. Like, you really want to put a fucking target on your back? Fine. I'm like, dude, she's unhinged. She's fucking unhinged.
Yeah, but like everybody already knew this. And like,
oh no, everybody already knew it. We all fucking knew it. We all tried talking to him about it. And look at where we are fucking right now. So again, like Sen, the difference is like I don't look at I'll criticize him. I'll condemn what he's fucking doing, right? That's fine. I really don't agree with any of this shit. Do I hate the guy though? I don't hate him. Okay? Like I don't hate him. I don't get any enjoyment out of seeing the guy suffer or seeing the guy lose his friends or seeing the guy just get blasted every
he hasn't lost his
day.
friends. He still has Maya and Ruby, and that's all he's needed. So
yeah. Fucking hell, dude. Like,
and like the thing is, like,
I'm just saying, like,
I mean,
I don't get it. All I'm saying is I don't get enjoyment out of seeing it happen.
I don't want to. I expect that more from you. Like I understand that more because, like, again, yeah, I saw the times you were around, and they were kind of scarce because, you know, I'm guessing it's because your family life just kind of takes over, right?
I mean, yeah, there's not much, like, don't get me wrong.
When he was on his, like, when he was down on his luck, when he was like basically had nothing to do and nothing like to really, you know, direction, anything of that sort, you know, I was there, and that's when, like, you know, we spent like a lot of time together. Like, in fact, there was like even like group chats where it was just me, or and him, and we would just shoot the shit. That's why T3 became a thing and stuff. So it's like, I think that the difference here is that you had, while you might have had like a good relationship with him and stuff, and you have fond memories, and there's a difference with like, there's a difference in the relationships we've had. Like, again, like we talked about really personal shit. Like, he said personal shit, I told him personal shit. So it was like on another level. And he was like, oh, I'll take a bullet for you and stuff. And I was like, oh, likewise, and shit like that. So it's like, at this point, it makes me feel like I did 1 year of this internet shit defending him, but like for what? And this whole ideology of like, keep your circle small so that nobody can like fuck with you, or, you know, like to trust everyone. It's like, well, I took that ideology and it didn't work. And it's like, am I not like, the point of that ideology is to keep away like the traitorous snakes that are like, you know, like commentary and stuff, right? But it's
look, I think when someone shows you their character, it's hard to just ignore that in the future. And this is what I mean, though, right? Like, what I asked you, like, you know, why not just ignore the guy? You tell me it's because you enjoy it, right? Like, if you actually enjoy the back and forth you're doing with him, like, man, for me, like, I look at that, I'm just like, man, this sucks. It's depressing to me, because, like, again, I'm not saying it's sad as in, oh, you know, I look at all these fun times we used to have together. I'm saying it's sad because, like, I had respect for the guy. I know he has talent. I know he has the ability, right? And it's sad because I'm looking at where he is. It's all the result of his own fucking actions and his own fucking behavior. And I feel sad. Like, I feel sorry for him. I don't want to like sit there and wind him up on Twitter, right? And like sit there and take fucking shots at him, because I'm like, why? Right? Like, bro, if you don't want to fucking like, bro, if you want to like live like that, if you want to be fucking there, if you're totally okay having like zero credibility, like, and again, whether or not you think that you're the most honest guy, it doesn't matter. To everyone looking at you, you're the unhinged fucking lunatic.
yeah, he's kind of been like that since like, what was it? I forgot. Maybe 7 months ago, when his original account was still gone. He was kind of like that, like on a daily basis, but I would still try to find ways to like, you know, rationalize it, or be like, here's what he's trying to say, and this is why he's not completely unhinged, guys, and stuff like that, right? So when you make defenses for somebody like for that long, and every time he does some stupid shit, it's like, again, it's 1 year of my internet life, right, where I'm like burning bridges left and right. I'm getting the stigma of being, you know, Steve DeLive's friend, and he keeps doing all this stupid shit, and he doesn't give a fuck if it affects anybody else's, you know, anything. Like, he doesn't care. It doesn't fucking matter to him. So it's like, of course I'm gonna feel some type of way. I'm gonna kind of feel bad for the other people that like he was beefing with, even to an extent, like, you know, because it's like, the fuck, like it's like my world kind of gets like flipped upside down a little bit, right?
You know, here's where I like. I'm trying to remember, because there are times where, you know, I think I burn bridges with people, and like we're talking about like one of the individuals and everything. But look, I chose to defend Steve when I thought he was right, and when I didn't think he was right, I didn't defend him. Right? I stand by my actions then. I stand by them now. Right? I don't care if that makes me look bad to those people, because at the time when I was defending Steve, like, I was defending him because he was in the right. I'm not going to sit there and go like, oh, actually, Steve showed me he's an unhinged fucking lunatic, so that means anytime I said anything nice about him, I was wrong. Like, I don't think that that's correct, man.
That's where like you and me are different on that, because I was defending him purely because he was a friend.
Yeah, no, I remember when like I put out that whole thing about the Maya thing, and I was like, hey, dude, I'm like not cool with Maya, right? Like, Steve can go do his own thing. I'm not, because again, I like Steve got like shit, like Steve still for like over a year gets shit on like every day he gets on Twitter, right? Like he's persona non grata for so many
well
groups.
I want to say that, but like in reality, people kind of forgot he existed, because as you said, like doesn't really have like anything going for him and shit. The thing is,
the moment somebody
the moment he
remembers
comes
him,
back,
like,
the first thing he goes into is, "Oh, did Jane kill Repsion?" It's like, what the fuck? Like, this is what you come back to Twitter for?
fuck, I don't.
It's
know,
like,
man.
I kind of want to ask you guys, like, what got like his whole obsession with Repsion and Jane started?
Well, it was Maya. It was Maya being unhinged and Repsion defending her, and Repsion. I believe there was something that actually took place between the two of them, or him saying something about Steve. But Maya was the worst of it. That's the thing I don't get. Maya was the worst of everything from Repsion that was directed at him. Then he gives Maya a pass, but he still like holds Repsion responsible for all of it, and I just go like that doesn't add up to me. And again, I think Steve's right about Repsion. I think he's fucking worthless. That Jane woman is a fucking psychopath. She's mini Maya, right? Except uglier. So I got to sit there and I go like, yeah, he's correct about these two people. He is, right? I've jumped in when I think that those people are being like fucking awful. Sure, like I don't have an issue with doing that. Even if I don't agree with Steve now, like I'll still sit there and say like Repsion and Maya or Repsion and Jane and Maya, they're all fucking trash.
Gotta say, I disagree on that because from the receipts that I gotten from Steve and fucking Maya to defend, like, it's not that I was doing a job to defend Maya, but like to hear their perspective and see why they're right from that, and then comparing it to the receipts I gotten like from the other party, obviously, you know, Repsion and Jane. There's one that has like a clear fucking lead on logic, right? Which is something that I like. I really like logic. And there's one side that's extremely more easy to make a defense for because that's how, like, you know, power scaling, right? The gaps are. So I'll disagree with you on that.
Yeah, Sen, here's why I think that's bullshit. Way back when he was with Maya, that exact same argument could have applied. Oh, well, you know, see, he's got a far larger scale, more like, no. Repsion has no credibility on this shit. Here's where you're wrong, okay? There doesn't need to be a party that's correct here, okay? When you're dealing with a den of snakes, guess what? There isn't one snake that's less snake than the other snakes. That's not the one that you support. They're all fucking trash. Fucking look at all of them and point and fucking laugh. Like, I'm not going to sit there and go like, oh, well, because Repsion has a better story. Bro, I get it, okay? Between Repsion and fucking Steve, Repsion is way better spoken. Repsion has way more of an ability to flip a fucking narrative. Steve comes across as fucking unhinged.
It's not about narratives, though. It's receipts. It's really... I think he spend more time... Like, Steve and Maya spending more time talking and making up new things.
Hold on,
the other party
I don't care what Steve and Maya accuse them of.
No,
I'm
telling you
to what happened
comparisons
with Slug, the guy that you were talking about, right?
What about Slug?
Wasn't Slug paid money by Jane?
To 3D print, like fucking tits or some shit. I don't remember what it was.
Because I've seen the chats that Jane.
I think it was to join a Twitch also, like at one point to join her Twitch or some shit. I know like the big sum of money was for the for like the 3D printing of some fucking shit. I don't even remember what he was doing, but that was the big.
Do you have the thread that he posted of that Discord chat that he was in with them?
Not on me.
Because he was mentioning Jane was specifically going to him to do things.
Let me see if I can find it. I know what you're talking about, though.
So this is what I mean. I don't care what Steve and Maya are saying about them, right? I was looking at what was going on in that thread that Slug posted that has her messages with that fucking with Steve's crazy ex, Danny.
Yeah, I mean, Steve and what's her face? Yeah, they were both a little fucking crazy. I'll just say that.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying that one.
And it goes both ways.
I'm not saying that one is correct here. I'm saying that they're all wrong. I'll look at what's actually there. If Steve and Maya make some bullshit fucking accusation, I don't care, right? I really don't care what they say. They don't have credibility, right? They could say the sky is fucking blue, and I would need to ask for a second opinion from another human being. These people like don't have credibility.
Are you talking about?
Me.
You're talking about Steve and Maya.
I'm talking about Steve and Maya because those two are linked at the fucking hip, and Maya has thrown out baseless and completely fucking false allegations against me, against Aura, against you, even against fucking Steve. So, like, for them to make a claim about somebody else, why would I ever take it with any, like, seriously, any credibility whatsoever from a known liar and her lackey?
Crow, the only baseless accusation I've heard from Maya about Steve is that he's an angel.
Good one.
Yeah, but you guys get what I mean, though, right? Like, I don't take what those two are gonna fucking claim about Repsion and Jane. What I see with fucking Jane is like the same kind of mentality Maya has, right? I don't think either of those women are fucking well, and I think Repsion has a type. He likes abusive women.
Yeah, that man has poor taste.
I like, dude, I look at it and I can see where he fucking lies. And look, I get it. Yes, sure, you're right. In terms of like a standpoint on being a content creator, it's probably not a good thing to be on the shit list of a guy like Repsion who has a bunch of connections and shit. But at the same time, bro, like, no, fuck you. I don't give a shit.
But you have like the ability to be diplomatic and stuff, and I think you'll understand this too, Crow. When you're a larger creator, you have to be diplomatic, and you know that sometimes the thing these big creators say is just fucking lies out of their fucking teeth, right? Because then it later gets exposed that they're either liars or degenerates or whatever, right? But by that point, it's like, but they're still like, that person I latched onto in this event, right? And I'm still going to support them on stream and shit like that. So it's like, you got to understand how this game works too. And yeah, everybody's going to probably be flawed, right? I'm not going to say I'm a good person. And I think you'll agree you're not, definitely, right? We're both like fucked up people in our own right. Come on,
but okay, go ahead.
I think that at the end of the day, it still comes like, even if everybody is fake to an extent, it's the party that's willing to acknowledge, even if they're lying through their teeth, they're willing to acknowledge and make amends for something they've done, so long as it doesn't become a pattern of behavior and things should be kept at peace. However, there is one side in this situation specifically that will not do that.
Hold on.
They don't even have the image thing.
I completely disagree. I think neither side actually is willing to acknowledge their fucking wrongdoings. I don't think either side is.
I had one side that acknowledged it to me.
Okay. If I have a private conversation with Repsion, does that mean he's going to fucking put out a tweet and say, hey, you know what? I've been behaving like, no, fuck, dude, fuck you. Like, fuck,
well,
man.
That's like if people expect it from you, too. Like, Aura would always say, Crow says some really unhinged shit on Crows of Judgment. If we had a competent, he was like, if we had a competent enemy that wasn't like Dean, we'd probably be fucked by now.
Yeah. But, like, dude, I guess
it's kind of like obnoxious. It's like if Crow, it's like if your career on YouTube ever took off to like the extent of a Yellow Flash or something with this Eliza Blue or some whatever, and then all of a sudden people from your past come back and say, Crow, remember when you were throwing around baseless pedophile accusations, and then they hyperfixate on the little things from the past and they keep throwing it at you?
Wait. When did I throw around a baseless pedophile
Remember how you
accusation?
called Narrator a pedophile, then he gave you like $10 or $15 and then you took it back?
What?
Yeah, that was during the Call Me Carson saga, I think.
Oh, no. Fucking Narrator, the one with the fucking 15-year-old.
I think it was that. Yeah, it was something like that. But then he came into the chat and
hold on. Yeah, he did give me money. And I said, I take back that he's a pedophile, but he does like to jerk it off to 15-year-olds or some stupid shit like that. Yeah, well, because he did. Like, yeah, no, I remember what you're talking about. Like, you got to go find that fucking clip because I
Jesus
guarantee
Christ,
you,
bro.
I was not fucking friendly
Did
towards.
you
narrator.
actually say that?
Yes,
Fuck's sakes.
he did though, bro. Like, he okay. Narrator was in like a little pissy match with another fucking teenage boy because he was dating another kid from his fucking high school, and narrator got jealous of them. Dude, like, there's a whole thing with fucking narrator. Don't throw that shit in my face.
No, I didn't. It was Aura.
No,
By the way,
no,
most
no.
of these, I will agree with
stand
one
by
thing.
the narrator thing.
Some of these points that I do take are specifically from Aura, only because, like, if they're from Aura, like, rest assured, these fucking points are probably, like, crafted pretty well.
Well, look, I have Ghost Foxes in the chat right now. Completely unbiased opinion here. What are you talking about? Crow's a perfect angel. I completely agree.
Is that like Zombie Fox's cousin?
Listen. It's not important who that is. It's not important who that is.
Because they're on my side. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, listen, they're completely unbiased. I pulled a random comment out of the chat. Like, dude, I don't know. You're throwing out all these accusations here. This is really fucked up. We're gonna have to end the stream pretty soon. But no, look,
So true.
I don't disagree because, like, if you clip out some random thing I said out of context, you can make me sound fucking heinous and evil. Remember the whole Ukrainian thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't repeat that.
I stand by it.
Jesus Christ.
Like, okay, but seriously, like, man, I still have, like, no ability to care what actually happens in Ukraine, other than I don't want people firing nuclear weapons at each other, because that's that's Armageddon. Crow base, Crow no. Look at these two back to back.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
But
Crow,
no, seriously.
no.
But seriously, right? I agree on that. But at the same time, like, Repsion has made tons of fucking mistakes. I don't think he's open about it. Like, honestly, the shit that he was doing with Maya, right? Because he claimed abuse, like, we kind of just dropped the fact that Repsion was kind of like signing off on all the shit Maya was doing. I don't think it's any different with this Jane girl, right? Do I think that do I think that Repsion is as evil or as bad as Steve is making him out to be? No. I don't think Jane is as bad as these two are making them out to be. But it doesn't mean that they're good people. It doesn't mean that anybody here is a good person or anybody here is being fucking honest.
This also kind of, like, because you pointed that out, right? You're like, they're not necessarily good people, and, like, the thing about signing off and shit. I signed off on a lot of shit that Steve did that, like, again, since you were defending him from, like, your point of view was he was right because of this, and my whole thing was, like, I'm defending him based off of, like, this is my friend, right? Yeah, so because you're defending it from, like, your point of view where it's like, he's right about this and that's why I'll agree, well, I'm just like, well, he's right about this because he's my friend, right? And I, friends don't, like, this, you give him, like, charity, extreme charity. At least
I get it, but there was plenty of shit that Steve would say that I just wouldn't comment on because I didn't agree with it.
Yeah, but we would help, and we would try to, like,
we would
try to find, like, basically, like, why this may apply to Steve, but it more so applies to the opposition. That would be it.
Well, here, Well, because I remember when it came to hold on. When it came, what are you talking about? Like actually signing off on someone's behavior?
On his behavior? Well, like, the unhingedness to an extent, yeah.
No, because I would never defend the unhingedness.
I'll be like, the equivalent of, oh, he's just, expressing himself, kind of, but, like, be like, hey, buddy, don't actually swat or do any of this shit, just like, oh,
well, look, if I'm having a private conversation or he's in a private, like, chat, right? Like, I've said fucked up things in private with you guys that I wouldn't want fucking repeated out in public either. Does that mean that I really want it to happen? No, sometimes I really am just blowing off steam. Maybe it's not that way with Steve. That's all I was going into with you. But in terms of like, here's the thing. In terms of like signing off on someone's behavior, Repsion was with Maya. They were living together. She was using him to go around and justify the things that she was doing and saying to people, right? Steve wasn't using my fucking name when he went out there and started talking shit, right? Like he wasn't saying, "Oh, Crow agrees with me," right? Like because he never fucking talked to me about that shit. If I didn't agree with him, I'd fucking say it. I told him when I didn't agree with him. Like I get where you're coming from if you were defending him because hey, he was my friend, he was my boy. Ride or fucking die, fuck these other clowns and shit. I get that, I do, and I can understand where you're just like, okay, well now I'm pissed because I burned these bridges when you were a bad person. I get it, I do. I wasn't doing that. If I don't agree with you guys on something, I'm not going to jump in and talk about it.
Yeah, for example, the biggest one me and Crow disagree on is that I like Ultimate Spider-Man and he doesn't.
Well, listen, it's complicated.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
Crow.
it's a
Like,
funny ass show. Okay.
Well,
You think it doesn't.
let me put it like this with you, son. Right? There are times where I'll see you tweeting at somebody, and I'm just like, bro, son, just like fucking leave them alone. They're a fucking loser. Just fucking leave them alone. Right? Sometimes I think it's funny, and I'll jump in. Right? I'll be like, what the fuck is going on here? Right? Like, I won't even say anything nasty towards whoever you're talking to. I'll just be like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm not reading all this. Like, but I'll see you, like, tweet at them, like, fucking, like, not you specifically only tweeting, right? But I'll see, like, 20 to 30 fucking replies. I'm just like, man, I wish I didn't jump in here. I'll mute the fucking conversation and just, like, disappear, okay?
Just fly away, right?
Yeah, just completely fly away. But it doesn't, well, hold on. It doesn't mean I'm like, I agree with you when you're fucking arguing. Like, dude, there are times when I have no fucking clue what you're even fighting about with somebody on Twitter. And I've jumped into the middle of those conversations just to be a smart ass and take off.
Oh, with the pizza guy, right?
Yeah, with the fucking pizza guy.
Yeah, that guy is kind of unhinged himself. I haven't talked to him since like that one time. And I think he went on break. I think he like fucked off because of reasons. And I think he stopped. Like he was like, oh, I'm not gonna YouTube anymore or some shit. So that's something.
So you won that battle. Like
I guess so.
I get it. I really do. I'm just saying, like, I wasn't sitting there approving his fucking actions, and he wasn't using my name to go out and do certain things. And there was a lot of times where I wasn't really even paying attention to what he was up to. But if I thought he was right, if I looked into a situation, I thought he was right, I defended him. I'll stand by that. If I thought he was wrong, I either wouldn't partake or I would publicly say so, like with the Maya stuff. But that's just how I feel about it. Like the stuff that you do said on Twitter, like I don't necessarily agree with everything I see you doing, and
it's wholesome.
And the truth is, I'm not paying attention to everything you're doing on fucking Twitter either. Like I'll see some tweets and I'll think they're funny. Like, I'll jump in if I think it's funny. But like I don't sit there and like have notifications turned on for anybody. So I just see whatever's like the most recent thing in my timeline. And that's about it.
How many people are you following, by the way?
Like 100?
I have less than you. I have 59.
Yeah.
I only follow I
like
try to keep it under, like originally it was under 50. Now it's like unfortunately under 60. So I gotta make sure I don't follow too many people. You know, I gotta look as cool as possible. Like, yeah, I got 494 followers and I'm only following 59.
Nice.
Yeah, look, I just mean that.
I mean, Crow.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is that back?
Would you agree that just not me? That you, Vic? Okay, never mind.
That's okay. It's gone away.
Vic is like, what?
Okay.
And I stepped away for a second.
Okay. Well, the whole thing with Steve, like, I don't see anything good left in him. I just see him as an asshole at this point. And to be honest, he deserves a crowbar upside the head.
We're gonna give it to him. You can
Like-
just sit back, bro. You don't have to do anything.
I look. I just, again, when he's wrong, I'll say it. When he's right, I'll say it. I don't like what he's doing right now. I don't like his fucking behavior, his attitude right now. And again, if you guys feel like he's worth going after that way, go for it. Like, as far as I'm concerned, when he called you a pedophile, he deserved everything that he gets. You want to?
What about this whole situation with Ari? Does he deserve to be fucking skinned?
Okay, let me be very clear about the situation with Ari. And I assume whoever made that comment is one of the fucking lurkers in Steve's community, or whatever the fucking shit show you want to call that group of people. I don't like any of these games when people talk about Ari, or when people make implications about Ari. I don't like that somebody attempted to use that as a gotcha. I think that it should have just been fucking condemned. I don't think that Steve going out there and trying to act as if the person was some sort of fucking gay op, right? Like, there was some fucking gay op that just showed up randomly to drop a comment like that, to paint Steve as a bad guy. Like, first off, I think Steve misunderstands his fucking position here as the one who is hated by virtually everybody on Twitter, who is like spat on everywhere he fucking goes. Nobody has to set a gay up on this guy. He doesn't have fucking credibility. He doesn't. Nobody has to set a fucking gay up on him. So when you see a person leave a comment like that about Ari, okay, a nasty fucking comment like that, if your first instinct isn't to say, fuck you, and fuck you some more, and instead is to like sit there and try to claim that people are using it as like this like secret attempt to use a suicide against you, like, bro, I don't even know what to fucking say. All you had to do is condemn it. I wouldn't I'm not gonna hold some asshole fucking minion lurking around in the background against whoever they're doing it to appease, right? I'm not going to hold that against Steve. What I am going to hold against Steve is that when he fucking saw it, his first instinct was to try to, like, throw it back. Like, instead of just saying, hey, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, you kind of went one step further, because when we've, like, because at this point we've, like, narrowed it down to, like, basically two people that it could be based off of, like, everything we've gotten. When Redsky said, "Oh, get that bitch Ruby Violet under control," Steve's first instinct was to reply to him and be like, basically defend her and be like, it's good to keep tabs on people. You should, like, basically take her word for it, which Ruby basically said, "Oh, I just followed the account recently. I was curious and stuff. That's all. But now I'm going to block them." And
you know
Steve
what? You know what? I'm gonna pull this up. Because I didn't know that I Bully Bullies was trying this shit.
Oh, you noticed that too?
Okay, so this is what I mean. Like I have IBB, right? Whining and fucking bitching, and saying like, "Oh, these people are being so mean to Steve." And then I see this shit. Like, dude, like here again, this is not a moral fucking battle. You don't gain or lose anything by just fucking telling these people to shove it up their ass. It's not that fucking hard. It's not that fucking difficult. Okay? You don't. Why the fuck is your first instinct to get fucking defensive? Is it because you've done so much fucked up stupid shit that you're just constantly used to people taking a fucking swing at you? Dude, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? And then again, this here would be a good reason to believe that whoever left that nasty comment came from fucking Steve's little fucking crew, right? And I'm not saying Steve told them to do it, or even that Steve knew that they were going to do it. I'm not saying that. I am saying that whoever did it clearly is supporting fucking Steve, and all he needs to do for me to not fucking even bring it up or mention it is just fucking condemn it. That's all.
Yeah, the one thing that the accounts, the two mysterious alt accounts that showed up, Steve and I believes have in common is that it was primarily just used to go at me, which is like fine and all, but like again, like it's too fucking soon, bro. It's only been like a month. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, look, this is the type of shit that I don't think is forgivable. Okay, like
Crow, check this last one here, because this shows like IBB at his worst, like his hypocrisy about shit.
Does he even bring Ari up again? Because I don't want to fucking see it.
No. This is where because he had said that somehow we were responsible for this fucking gay op against Steve.
He was running with Steve's narrative, basically.
Yeah, basically about how twisting emotions and doing bad things. Well, here's the other thing. This is from his community tab back in December when he flipped on us and was doing emotional manipulation and shit.
Personal growth is a blessing. It's something we all. Hey, can someone read this in a retarded Sweden accent?
Personal growth is a blessing, something we should all work towards. I've been extremely toxic in the past because of encouragement from former associates that I've distanced from now. I apologize for being easily influenced by their hindsight, self-serving encouragement. It was weak of me to let them push me in a direction I would have never taken things. Things were said about Tipster's wife, what I want to apologize for publicly. I know you love her very much, and I should have never made those jokes. I know you already talked about it, but I just want to apologize more publicly. Now that I distance myself from that you actually warned me about. You were right about them. Likewise, I should have never made some of the jokes about.
Oh no, there's
Steve.
a school bus full of young children.
IBB.